Hi, folks. Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Before we get into it, I've got to pay some bills. First and foremost, I need to put a shout out to our own IndieCD.org because the Historical Fencing Guild's live streams are brought to you by IndieCD.org, your one stop shop for some of the best and brightest in the creative fields. We're also, of course, made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear. My ongoing series of how to defend yourself safely with swords, as well as the Big Stompy Robots line of games and apps and novellas. All these can be found on Amazon. We also, in the description, have an affiliate link to the amazing folks over at woodenswords.com, Purple Heart Armory, where if you use that, it doesn't cost you anything, but I get a small percentage of any certain purchases you make. And that helps elevate my position in the community so that I can build up and continue to make things a bit better for the people down here. Make sure you guys are getting the trainers you want, and it gives me just the room to make requests and things. It makes things a lot easier. Please like, share, and subscribe to this. Now, as you can see, we're made possible by our Patreon patrons over on the Patreon .com/The Historical Fencing Guild. At the end of the scroll, you will find the list of all the active patrons. Now, I've had many who, for financial reasons and other social reasons, have come and gone. But I thank all of those who came and are no longer able to support me. But the people who are going to be across the screen at the bottom are the people who've made this possible and are nothing short of heroic, as I could not afford to do what I do. Now, before we get into the chat and everything, and we will be talking about some big news, hopefully. There is an announcement that Friday I will not be doing any direct streaming, meaning that I'm not doing my morning show and I'm not doing my evening show. That being that there is so much effort that's going into what I want to do and making sure everything's done. We have some challenges that we're facing, and I'm going to talk about that because what we do is we have challenges. But I want to do that right. Now, I'm hoping to arrange with Joe. I haven't heard back yet, and I never check my chat till after I've gotten into it. Whether or, if we can, hopefully we'll be able to stream something from the show. If we can't stream, we can definitely record at least our portion of it. And I would love to have that as a recording that we could do as this is something you can sit down and watch, because we're going to be talking about gear, talking about training, talking about what we do. So there is all that. It will be on the table. I'm hoping to make it presented for everyone. If not, it may be a patron only. I don't know. We'll see. But I have to do a minor announcement. You may notice that right now my lights are rather dim, and I'm not moving the way I normally do. That's because I went to the eye doctor today, and I can just now take my sunglasses off and stand it. I would be wearing them. However, they are polarized in such a sense that my entire screen goes black. If I wear my sunglasses, I have a faint purplish outline. So I'm just going to have to endure a little discomfort. So if I seem a little wobbly or a bit out of it, that's because I react poorly to having my eyes dilated, and the chemicals they have to use always screw me up. It screws up my balance. It screws up my sight, obviously, and it takes hours and hours for things to reset. I will be getting new glasses. I will be getting bifocals. Insert joke about me being old here. but we're going to make sure, and we're going to make it work for you guys. I also may get some clips of things I want to talk about on the show, but I do need to say thank you guys for your patience and tolerance of late as I've dealt with some health challenges. Doing the show is going to be a major step and a major test both of stamina and ability. So, little things about the show. We will be using only plastic trainers. Now that sounds plastic. It brings up some less than sane, less than sturdy minds. But we've been field testing the rapiers, and the rapiers should be perfect for it. Now, the reason for this and the challenge that we're going to face is I will be in costume, Trelena will be in costume. I do not believe Joe will be in any costume, nor Amanda. But we have several things. Of course, it's getting it up there. I need to make sure I have all the gear for all of that, plus the possibility of selling my books on site. Because if I talk about it and somebody wants to buy my books, having them there would make sense. So it's a mix of running a major practice and running a booth for a convention while raining in Xander, and it's supposed to be convention. It's gonna okay. Hi, buddy. I am streaming. It's okay. I'll answer your question. Remember that next Friday, starting at 5:00 our time, so we'll have to be up there much earlier. I am doing a show with Trelena and Joe and maybe your mom if she's feeling spry, and possibly Richie. We're reaching out to the local guildies to come out. Okay. To open for the Gary Shakespeare Company. So we're going to sword fight for about 2 hours, and then we're going to watch a play called The Tempest. The Tempest? Yes, it's a very good play. They will be speaking Shakespearean, which is kind of an old-timey English, buddy. But we're going to be there. We're going to be part of the opening for the show. But don't we want to get the list for the things that we're going to need? I'm going to make a list. Okay? I will make a list. And you can help, okay? Okay. Thank you, buddy. You're allowed to... He's allowed to politely ask questions like that because I don't, that's part of his education. And okay. So the challenges are going to be heat, which means we're going to be balancing armoring with heat and costuming. It's going to be, it was looking originally at 90 some odd degrees. It may be cooler by the time we get there. Still, that's a lot of heat with costuming and the potential of thunderstorms. And Foxy says those were good questions. Sorry. The pleasure of switching over to my screen door is we get more Xander interaction, which thank you guys in the chat especially for understanding that. Because my primary job is the homeschooling of my son. But that being said, I'm sorry, my comments are coming up and I'm getting to where I can actually read them. I was kind of bamfing as my eyes are trying to clear enough to be able to read the screen. Oh, wait. No, this isn't hooked up. Let me do something here to make my life a little easier. It should not affect you at all. But what I'm going to do... Oh, that's much better. If you can't read the comments, and I don't really need to see my screen, I can make the font bigger. Yeah, that's much, much better. I don't know if I'd do that. Okay. To the other things, but there we go. So we have the possibility of thunderstorms coming in that night. And we have high heat. And high heat and thunderstorms tells me no metal trainers. No fencing rapiers. I really was working at it. I've been building up in hopes that I can handle the sword. I was thinking I may have to downgrade to my 30 to be able to do it. But if there's thunderstorms, one, for the safety of everyone participating, and two, for the protection of the gear, I can't justify steel, which really, really stinks. But I will explain that to the crowd. So we'll be using the polypropylene weapons, likely the light rapiers, and a few other things. I will be going through my toy collection. And I had planned to drag a whole bunch of them up so that you guys could see it. But apparently, my eyes don't clear at the same rate for dilation, so that makes me very susceptible to vertigo, and stairs are not my friends when my eyes are dilated, and most of the gear is actually downstairs or in the garage, distributed fairly randomly. So I know I could fight with live steel with Trey and be safe. Pretty much the same with Joe. So we will be doing the poly trainers. I have the new gloves. I'm breaking them in. I will be in costume. It will look a little funny because I will have tonk 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 my plastron on because I'm not supposed to fight without it. Gorget at least, and of course the necessary coverage. It will be a variant of my pirate costume that I wore for the program that I did for the Benton County Public Library. And I did get a message from Joe that was able to be read to me asking for a typo on the what we are and a logo. So I will have to do something with that, won't I? We'll figure it out. But beyond that, I need to get into your comments because I've been prattling for a bit. And then I'll answer any questions that come up, and then we'll get back into the usual sword chattiness that is this program. And first through the gate is Cindy Koepp with hello, 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 hello. We've got some classic Stooges references coming in. Hi, Joe. Glad to see you. Joe says, good evening, folks. Don't forget that next week, the HFG will be at Twin Oaks Park in New Chicago, Indiana, to do a pre-show before the Gary Chicago Company performs The Tempest, ironically near a booming storm scheduled. This is going to be interesting, and I'm excited about it, because if it's light rain, that won't stop me, friends. I'm insane. Thesis, hey, Thesis, how you doing? Wish I could be there, seeing all my new friends in person and getting to see Shakespeare. That would be awesome. And you know what? Maybe someday. I've been meaning to go on a trip, and one of these days I may just go all the way out to Utah and have an adventure and maybe see some of the more, because to go to Utah, I'd have to go through Iowa. So I might be able, a whistle stop tour of the HFG meeting members. That could be fun. Stranger things have happened. And of course, if I get obscenely wealthy, a whole lot of people are going to get some very special call/emails, and, there may be an HFG resort thing. Joe says, I'm going to work on trying to do a live stream during the pre-show. Thank you, sir. I don't want to, get in trouble and accidentally show the play, because I respect actors and I respect them having the right to do what they do, e.g. the Gary Shakespeare Company. That would be cool. I think so. Hello, Foxy. And good morning on the other side of the planet. Hey, Cindy Koepp. Tune in to the Historical Fencing Guild tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, we're 15 minutes or so into that. You are doing a show, though. It's just on Saturday, IRL. No. The show is Friday. It is Friday. It's not Saturday. That's why I'm not. If I were doing the show Saturday, I would be streaming my Friday shows as normal, because that's how I roll, unless I was traveling. And that's a given. And you can get big stompy robots who are not wielding simple swords or fighting axes and not melee. No, well, because of you, I will be writing an expansion to that system. Seriously. And I'm really thinking, where are my notepads? Where are my notepads? Something great is happening right now. Aha. Pardon my tromboning. BSR Koepp School of Melee Combat. Write it in. Okay. So that note is now going on the wall of knowledge so that I remember to write that in to the next Big Stumpy Robots book, the Koepp School of Combat. Something involving Koepp. I don't know if it will be Cindy Koepp named fully or just a cybernetically enhanced version. Something will happen. Cindy says, I started wearing bifocals when I was 30. Progressive lenses are a big challenge to adapt to, but they're really not that bad when your eyes figure out how they work. I'm really thinking of just going hardline because I was experimenting with some, what we call them cheaters, reader glasses that my wife got. And because we have the same adjustment. So having a hard line, what I'm worried about is some people I know had problems with depth perception due to the difference in magnifications. And I wanted to order a set of glasses that are only the tops for driving, because my instrument panel can be a little blurry. That's fine, but I need to see the road and be able to measure everything out. But I've ended up with, you'll see me in some very special computer glasses just for computering that have extra protection in that measurement that should make things easier for me to read so I don't have to zoom in all the time. So that's coming. They are kind of goofy looking, but they're cool. You can do it. Thank you. I'm trying. Our new Optimus has a nifty machine where we don't have to do dilation anymore. It's pretty cool. They hyperdilate my eyes basically because they have to look. I have some nerve damage in at least one, if not both of my eyes. Let's see. Joe will be in costume. I'm sure sword fighters in retroflective shirts back then. If they, I will testify this, and I will stake my knowledge of the Middle Ages and my credit as a history buff that had retroreflective fabric been available, at least the Lawns Connect would wear it. Let me get a second opinion on that one. Hey, Ben, do you think that the Lawns Connect would have worn retroreflective fabric if they could have gotten away with it? I don't know if you heard her. That was an oh yeah from somebody with a master's in library sciences. Thank you, dear. Well, information and science technology. Yeah, she's a level 5 librarian. She's a max. You know, level 1. I'm pursuing level 5. I flipped it. I'm pursuing level 5 at some point in my life. She's a level 1. The only, guys, when she walks in the room in the right moment, I hear bum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum 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 bum. I'm not even kidding. I expect Noah Wiley to come up and go, finally a decent replacement. Anyhow, I don't know if she heard that. We shall see. But yes, they would have. So you're fine. It's a big tunic. Tune into the Historical Fencing Guild, 7 p.m. on Fridays, but not next Friday. Yes, next Friday. I entrust my beloved channel to the skill set and capabilities of Joe Bachman. Joseph, my broseph. Corner to our quadrangle. Are they performing The Tempest in a Teapot? I don't know. And that's Foxy liking Xander's questions, which is good. That's Cindy promoting patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild. Help Nick teach people. to be health hazard without being hazardous, basically. I have a comment dump. Let me deal with that real quick. And let's see, because I've been glad that our Ren Fair has been in late April, early May, or else I would have been miserable in my Dagua. And I'm sure I mispronounced that, but I bet. This should not be able to make noise at me. I have silenced it and blocked it. Usually means Joe sent me a message. Okay, let me do that and that. No, it was family, which I don't mind family getting through usually. But anyhow, check out Nick's art at deviantart.com/NickT. Yes, and I am set for another big art dump in the very near future of digital art. And guys, I did some practical art, which is off topic. Let's go. Screen zoom puts the bomb in the diggity. Yep. Screen zoom is amazing for getting the lettering where I can read it. I'm guessing white boot for the logo. I guess so. It's up on the thing. Y'all don't want to do a demo in a thunderstorm with a lightning rod in your hand? Nope. Now, that being said, I will probably have to pack my, we'll say, the matching coat I have to Joe's in case of downpour, and then we'll be swinging in the rain. I can't believe I was here and Johnny wasn't to hear me make that joke. Oh, wait, he's here. Oh, God. If you come out to Foxy, we have a spare bedroom. We just have to clear out. Oh, you are angels, folks. You really are. We'd figure something out. I am the storm that is approaching. Wait. No, that's not in that song. Dang it, I don't think so. No. I am the righteous hand of God, and the devil you forgot. Anyway, big grin from Cindy. Write Doom Kaiser at the end of that note. I want to see how many more balls can be jacked. No, Doom Kaiser is all. I don't have to write the note about Doom Kaiser because Doom Kaiser is the ultimate endbringer. There's an endbringer class, mecha, that is coming to the BSR universe. And the greatest of them, the secret weapon to end all secret weapons, is Ultimate Endbringer Doom Kaiser! Because I grew up with really good mecha anime, and as much as my favorites will always be, my favorite mechs will always be the battle mech, gun-armed, beautiful walking tanks of destruction. And I'm way off topic today, but that's okay. There's a certain place for, your Voltron mobile suit that just needs it. It needs to be part of it. And I may be working on secret things. Sword for big mechs, would it be simple? I don't know. Oh, aligned bifocal will mess you up on stairs, and the jump between focal ranges might make you... Okay. Just make it a giant katana and you're set. Just went down the wrong pipe. Okay. My depth perception was actually better with progressives than when I'm glasses free. Oh my. There are workstation glasses that are kind of like progressives, but only have the intermediate and distance. Oh, that's cool. Line both cycles are missing the intermediate range. Okay. Silence, I kill you. FWIW. For what it's worth. Okay, I figured it out. I'm presbyotic. My eyes won't focus close. Farsighted and amblyoptic. My right eye is so much different from my left eye. My brain would rather ignore it. Your mileage may vary. Okay, no, that's valid, and you know what? That's a good thing to talk about for a while. how do we deal with vision issues in what we do? Now, I will tell you something that sounds far fetched, but I found it to be true. With the way my glasses are, if I wear a fencing mask, the parallax effect, and there is one, uh, the light bends as it comes in at different angles, and actually, in a fencing mask, your uh, your depth perception is at quite well altered. Uh, but I found it wasn't quite as good with my glasses, but I had this problem of my glasses, because of how big my head is, would scrape the corners and get moved around quite a bit in the mask. So mask compatibility is something to think about in glasses. I actually tried on a pair of really too cool for me, if that makes sense, sunglasses at the eye doctor that were wraparound, and they came down, and they were almost perfect. They were almost like sport goggles, but they had just enough that I think there'd be air to breathe, because I've tried sport goggles and they fog horribly. So getting the range I need will be really, really interesting. But if I could get the wrap kind of glasses that don't have the protruding corners, they might fit in the fencing mask better. And that's something I'll be looking at probably in about half an hour as we start our Zenny experience. Because I'm totally not sponsored. I just like doing business with them. Zenni Optical. Zenny has glasses under $10. These guys ran 14 because they have the blue light protective layer on them. Uh, I can get glasses, and I'll have many this time because I'm tired of messing with it, and because my insurance covered most of my glasses, I got a pair of working glasses that will be basically just the bifocal part, so that I can work in here with heavy blue tip protection, so that I can do my shows, I can draw, video game probably. So those are going to be those glasses. Then I'm working on my day to day and everys and figuring out where the bifocals are, because now that I know what my bifocal need is, I can either do it with cheaters or do it like I used to do it with clip-on flip outs that I used to have multiple little lenses for when I was looking at things. I really did like that system. I may have to get another one. Uh, let's see. Still trying to remember the name of the mecha-based or involved, where three aircraft would stack up on each other in creative ways to form one of three. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, and it hurts my soul because I can't remember it. Okay. Oh, that hurts. But yes, I know what one you're talking about. Oops. Workstation glasses are intermediate and close only, yet no distance. I'm probably going to have just the basic kind of the close range, so that I can just sit here and do my digital art, and I can sit here and do the streams without hurting my eyes. And we'll see about the computer range. That um for fencing, I don't know if I need that close range at all. So I'm trying to figure out, because frankly it's cheap enough I can afford to get individual glasses for each job, because most of them are fairly stationary. So what you'd see is, my everydays would be hung here, my other ones would be on, and we'd be just rotating around. Plus, I might get some for fashion again, because that was fun. Yeah, when I was fencing, I couldn't wear my glasses. These days, I have my seizure glasses that are actually safety sport glasses. So these days, that might work better. I can see that. Folks suggesting, no, it was not Voltron. Voltron did have a vehicle mode, but that had vans and stuff in an alternate. No, I've seen the plain one. I can see it clear as day in my head, but you don't want to get bifocals on it line. There are too many wacky measurements they can screw up. Well, like I said, I may have to get them. Uh, you know, I'm if it's cheap, I will try, and if I have to get long distance glasses and either cheaters or whatever, I'll do that. I'm fine. Get my glasses there too. Cool. Be very careful with online single vision. Not so big a deal. Buy a big deal. If you have any visual creativity at online glasses, ordering is treacherous. Close range. Yeah, see, close range is only 2 feet or closer, not generally needed for fencing. And at with the way my vision is with these, even though it's not as good there, I've been cheating for years because you'll notice I wear smaller lens glasses. And when I need to look at something close, very often I look under the glasses down here and I can read it clearer than with the glasses. So I've been training myself in bifocal tricks for years. Intermediate is 5 to 10. Distance is anything beyond that. Thank you. That's good to know. When one thing we got to talk about when you are fencing, especially when you're sword fighting, and you have to wear glasses, make sure you have a backup pair. I made that mistake. Make sure that they can fit comfortably in the mask, not scrape on the sides. Make sure someone else knows where your backup pair is. Learn from mistakes. And you have to make the decision. There are two basic routes because very rarely, if you're wearing proper face protection, will you have any actual eye damage, damage to the lens. You're far more likely to have an impact rattle. And okay, in spring glasses, I'm going to hold it up here. This joint right here is a tiny, tiny, tiny. Let me see if I can get an angle on it so that you guys can see. Let's see if it cover my face. Okay, it's not zooming. There's a tiny piece of metal, and that's what fails on these guys all the time. I also am going to be once again experimenting with plastic glasses because once I eat through the coating, I start to absorb the copper in the glasses frames, and I start dyeing my hair, which I don't think is showing up right now. Oh, a little bit. You see that line? That is actually a very distinct green dye that I've done from absorbing it. It's also why I can't wear silver. I absorb silver. Let's see. Thesis says I've worn glasses since I was in elementary school. I have contacts now. So the only thing I have to worry about fogging is my sunglasses. That's good to know. With a bifocal, you'll need bigger lenses. There are short corridor lenses that can work with small height lenses, but they're very expensive. Yeah, I know my day-to-days will have to be much larger than I usually prefer, and I just am going to accept that as a necessity, but I appreciate the input. And I hope the people who are watching are appreciating the input because we talk about adaptive training. We talk about matters of adaptation. One moment, please. I apologize. I have to stay hydrated because I'm basically in a week of I have to do training. I have to spend more time outside, stay loose without overtaxing myself, build everything up, plan a 2-hour demo out, and get everything set. It's going to do some interesting things. But I don't. But we talk about, and often I talk about how to fight with a cane, how to fight with a stick. Okay, you're in a wheelchair. What can you do to participate in this sort of thing? And I haven't really gone much into the importance of vision. Part of it is please facial protection, head protection, goggles. If you're sparring around, you should at least wear goggles. Uh, and I mean, if you're boffer fighting, I don't care, wear goggles. Because I find that boffers, and we won't do headshots, do more damage to people's eyes and faces than swords and fencing masks ever do, because people will accidentally or intentionally do headshots. And when you have to deal with somebody who's had wrinkled duct tape scratch their cornea, you find that it can be very, very problematic. Uh, Now, I'm an odd case in that I can fight usually, even nearly blinded fairly well. And I used to be able to fight blind, but right now my hearing is so shot by other things, I don't think I could anymore. It may be something I experiment with in very safe parameters. But to be honest, I was messed up, and Mandy was making fun of me a little bit because we're coming back, and I couldn't hear her. She's like, "What? You can't hear me if you don't see me?" It's like, that's true, because I lip read in part to offset. Let's see. What? Very expensive. Let's see. I'm sorry, my LOL. I do the eating away thing too. Okay. I lost where that one ties to, I'll admit, but uh, now you're making me think about the pizza that is sitting on the table in the living room for when I'm done. Your current glasses will probably work fine for. Okay, that's good to know. Those glasses look, those lenses look deep enough to do the job. Thank you. I'm nearsighted, so even if I have to take a shot to the eye, which I have, and tear the contact lens, I can generally still fight. And a lot of that depends on the situation. Also, just depending on your consider the material made of. CR39, no, just no. Terrible visual clarity, especially in a progressive. Thank you. The corridor is stupidly narrow. Glass too heavy, even though they're tested by dropping a steel uh, ball 1 meter onto the lens, they're still quite breakable. Well, yes. A lot of buffers made with duct tape / masking tape, and people don't realize that those have sharp corners. That's why I need to do the boffer making episode. I need to talk about how we make a boffer and why I'm so careful with it, because I do it in a very specific way. Polycarbonate, sturdy, awfully hard to break. Visual quality is not so fabulous, but if you need unbreakable, polycarb is as close as you get to that. That's what I go for. I love polycarb because in my previous lines of work, there was so much violence. And that's the thing. You have the option of spending a vast sum of money and getting like the rebendable titanium frames, because usually when I break glasses, they break right here or they break right here. Either the screw gets unthreaded, stripped out by a torsion that pulls it, or most likely these little bars I was talking about break. No, right, the nose connection weld breaks. That's part of why I'm going to try plastics again, in hopes that if something cataclysmic happens, I might just be able to super glue it. Oh, the skin eating away your frames thing. Yes. This is what part of why I can't wear certain metals, including silver. Anything with copper turns me quite green, and it expands out as I ingest the metal. Trivix, not quite as unbreakable as polycarb. Polycarb can be broken, but boy, is it hard to do. Much clearer, though. Exactly, Rich. That's what happened to my eye. Boffer swords to the face, even though no headshots at all. This is my very first fight of the day. Yeah, I want to say, and I don't normally speak ill of anyone if I can avoid it, but Thesis's old group scares the pants out of me. That they sounded reckless and dangerous, and I've done reckless and dangerous things. If you want to see one of the most reckless and dangerous things that I ever did in my entire career of being a swordsman and a swordsmaster, um, Sword Sage. Sword Sage has a video where he wanted to talk about guiding the blade away. It's a really neat Jin video, but he did not have trainers. So he needed somebody to be a very dumb dummy. And he was using, I didn't realize till we got that going, a unsharpened but very much live Jin. And you will see me pull one of the craziest things I've ever pulled, in that I caught the tip of a sharp sword that was not, sharp enough, we'll put it that way, not being controlled at the moment with a finger, and stopped a flexing thrust by pinching it. I think I burned through about 3 of my 9 lives on that one. Let's see. High index plastic, 1.7 or better, very lightweight. Highest visual corridor of all lenses in a progressive. Not any kind of unbreakable, though, not as fragile as glass. If you have an option of polycarb lenses, and this is Sydney kept giving us a primer on a glasses lens. Sydney, write something with this, or do a note. You want aspheric polycarb. They're thinner, lighter, but still pretty amazing, and nearly unbreakableness. Sounds good. No. Okay, before I have to skip it. No. Not at all. Cindy, you provided a wellspring of information that I literally will be referencing after this video. You gave a thorough, informed breakdown of something. I see that exactly when I go off reviewing different canes. I know the different canes. I've used the different canes. I know ups and downs on them. Why do different trainers? Same thing. That was spoken with calm. That was submitted into the text with calm and precision, and you laid the information out there. I appreciate it. I respect your opinion, and I thank you genuinely for sharing that, because that's something the viewers may be able to use. Athesa said, reckless, dangerous, stupid, take your pick. Those guys are the reason why I'm worried about an SCA branch down here. Now, the thing about the SCA is the SCA has strict rules, and they take their safety very seriously the vast majority of the time. And if a branch opens up, it will need some elder members to run it. You can't, unless the rules are dramatically different where you are. I think you're in the Western Kingdom. I don't think Utah's still in the middle. I think you might be. Is there a Mountain Kingdom? It's been a long time since I looked at an SCA map, and I apologize for that, but I will admit my ignorance. But I don't believe you're in the Middle Kingdom. So I can't fully attest to yes or no's. And I've talked at length on the subject of the society, but we need to. It is a very big topic, because there's some amazing people. And frankly, it kills me because I'm very close to some amazing people. But I know how it can go. So, and let's see. Titanium frames are crazy light and can be bendy, not unbreakable frames. They tend to have catastrophic failures at weird times and points, especially at the bridge. I've seen them go exactly that way. And there are safety glasses that wrap but won't fog because they don't squish in too tightly to your face. My seizure glasses are that way. I have to try something like that on because I have fairly sunken eyes and a larger than normal head, so they sink in. Now, Thesis says, I've never seen such undisciplined swordsmen in my life, just wildly swinging without any style or class. Well, there's a temptation to just keep blasting them. And while that is indeed tempting, and it may even still be factual, one can hope that there are, with the years that have passed, that perhaps they've grown. I do believe in giving second chances, singular usually. Now, I try to be as forgiving as I can. I just fail at it. But there are strict rules. I mean, it's strict. They're stylistic rules, especially since they'd be leaning towards heavy combat. There are very strict rules when it comes to light combat, and with only one exception, and that being the gentleman who instructed me, and I still don't know how he got away with many of his shenanigans. Uh, the uh, the styles are a bit more controlled. And the thing about the SCA for heavy fighters I have found is there is always a bigger fish. And if you if ego and untrained hits, it is either um, tent staked out or exhaust. Concussive maintenance is applied for the heavies. So certain levels of shenanigans just don't last long because they're not swinging boppers, they're swinging rattan bats. Let's see. Sunglasses, you'll want polarized. Absolutely. I love polarized lenses. They'll actually help with the glare. Brown lenses help with glare more than usual. Black lenses are darker. Consider whether you need darker or glare deflection. I actually, most of the time, and previously before I got the blue lenses because of the computer action, I would run the yellow polarized glasses, the so-called shooter's lenses. They give tremendous clarity at the loss of some color processing, and remove most of the glare. I love them dearly. Uh, I have several over the glasses that I use when I'm going out. Actually, a lot of people use them for night driving. If you can process the way the brightness works, those I love. Foxy says I have a tiny head, like can wear toddler hats. Foxy, that's adorable. I don't know if that's a proper response to that, but I can't help it. And yes, my first battle, I surprised everyone by taking out the best fighter on the field. Well, I will say this: if you join the society and find a way, find your niche in it in a way where you can play by the rules and such. Um, and you can deal. How do I want to put this? With the politics, you will find people far better than you, and people who in the right situation, if things are doing like they should give you training and experience and heck of sparring partners. And it can be a really uplifting thing if you have the right group. If you have the wrong group, it essentially becomes a cult. Uh, and I've seen both spectrums of that. And it's soul rending to me because I woke up from the dream in such a way I could never go back, if that makes sense. But I also don't want to bash anyone else's experience because I know I'm an outlier on this one. So I know there are wonderful groups. Heck, the group just south of me is usually, from everything I've heard, pretty darn amazing. But with everything that went down, yeah, I can't go back, and it saddens me. It truly does. Let's see. Colored lenses usually have to be CR35. You can dye polycarb, but you have to boil it in a volcano or just about. Colored lenses don't actually block anything, just change the color of light. Green polarized lenses are snazzy, but they don't do much glare. Blue increases the glare. Yellow increases acuity, which is why marksmen use yellow lenses. It's why I love them. It puts everything in hyper def for me. Uh, but you have to figure out what's going to work for you and how you're going to stay safe doing it. So I'm going to run fairly minimal gear because we should be only light sparring. Poly rapiers, poly daggers if I can find them. Maybe some shield buckler work. Maybe some light spear staff work. I'm not quite sure yet. I have to look at what gear I have and think on how comfortable / compatible it is with Trey's fighting style and work with that. I could throw some axe work in there because it's very visually attractive and it's dynamic. I may put my safe. It's a curved sword. It's basically what a scimitar should be, kinda. Think what Drizzt fights with, but with a horse head kind of wrap on the bottom for retention. I really wish I had two of them, but as Johnny would be quick to say, don't go full Drizzt. Let's see. Your mileage can definitely vary for ocular enhancers. I've provided the generalities. I can give specific recommendations if you want to share your script offline, I reckon. Sure. Well, maybe I can just do that. Mandy has it, so I could just. We have to take a picture anyway. I respect your opinion. Thank you. I know we talked the glasses we wear, but I think that's a really understanding which ones are safe is a great thing. Because so many people wear glasses this day and age. We need to be willing to understand that. He was using glaive type polearm and sniping at legs. I stepped on the blade, used it to springboard up, half spun, and hit him in the shoulder. And that is something cool that you can do to a novice. I know a couple people who, if you tried to step on the glaive, they have enough raw strength where they would vault you off the weapon or lever the weapon up into you, body check you over, follow through with the butt spike. But that's big guy fighting, and I really wish John Miner were here for that discussion. Though Mandy might be able to somewhat answer it, although I don't think she'd ever legs. Well, remember in the SCA, you can't snipe lower than the knees. You're not allowed foot snipe or ankle snipe. You can only snipe at the things. Back to martial arts. I test fast form Wednesday if all goes to plan. If I pass, I'll start teaching basic Tai Chi once a week and I'll cross over to the instructor path. Cindy, that's incredible. I am so wow. I am so incredibly proud of you. Absolutely get it. That's, oh God, there are a few things I love hearing more than somebody's crossing into the instructor path. Taking what you know, learning, sharing. Yes. Mandy's going to freak out when she hears that, if she hasn't already. So proud of you, Cindy. That is great news. The next material I will learn to be push hands and Buddha saber. Oh, I used to dabble in push hands with John Miner. So I didn't know. I run into this where I learned to do things, but don't ask me what they're called. There was a lot of that. But push hands was one of the most educational things I learned, especially in how to deal with a much stronger opponent. Oh, let's see. It was fancy, I bet. And I'm fully aware it was something I could do, but I'm fully aware it wasn't something I could do, but oh, it's fun. No, it's a great, what you pulled was amazing. And it sounds like it needed to be pulled on that individual. I want to be careful because we work in such small groups. Okay. One of the hazards of working in a small group is it's really easy to become a big duck in a little puddle. And I want to make sure, and I trust that the stuff, this is more for viewership than directly to you, Thesis. So please understand when I'm saying this. I want to make sure that folks who are learning go out with humility and tact and grace to any group you participate in, no matter what you've heard. I want you guys to make your own decisions. Because, like I said, the SCA has some amazing individuals, and I've had the privilege and the honor to spar with some of them. I've had the privilege and honor to learn from a few of them. And I respect these individuals, even if I don't play their game anymore as they do. The Historical Fencing Guild was originally founded to be a bridge between the SCA and AmpGuard and the dojo-based Eastern martial artists to get people to come together. That's what the guild is. I teach a fencing style. I teach an approach. I sell books on it. But the purpose of the guild is to get new people in a place where they can learn the basics and have exposure to as many different styles as possible. And so that practitioners of different styles, accomplished folks like Cindy Koepp and yourself, and to an extent me, can exchange ideas and hopefully be in a position to physically, because for me, sparring is not about who wins or loses. Get that out of your head. This isn't a tournament. This isn't Karate Kid. A sparring is about learning what you can do, learning what they can do, and having that physical conversation. It's teaching your body to recognize that all conflict is a conversation. Okay? Jabs and feints and slashes and precision thrusts and long range lunges that seem to come out of nowhere all mirror the way we discuss things. Do we accept the strike of somebody saying yes and redirect? Let's go over here. Do we oppose it with yang force? How do we approach these things? And by looking at these things, we develop our personal philosophy, not just of combat, but of conversation. And by having conversations across styles, you end up with people who no longer are blank. Somebody trains in one school. They are a black belt or blue belt. Grab a random belt code. A blue belt in Taekwondo. And that's all they've known. And they've reached a blue belt level in Taekwondo. Good for them. That's cool. Then they go and they meet a BJJ guy. And they start rolling around and train with the BJJ guy. They are no longer just a blue belt. They've had experience outside of their school. And it will start to affect how they work, what they do, what they try. And the longer they play, the more the BJJ is going to infect and corrupt or adjust the personal style of the Taekwondo guy. Now he can either keep through discipline his Taekwondo form for training and such, or he can evolve his style to see what works. And when you get a bunch of people doing that who are training in different styles and seeing what works, optimally you get MMA. You get mixed martial arts. I approach swordsmanship and axe fighting and staff work and all that from the same mentality. What can I learn? What can I teach? Can I help level you up? Are you going to help level me up? What is coming out of this? Because I either win or I learn. There is no loss. There's no loss of face. Now, yes, I've been in tournaments. I had a habit of coming in second. And that is something I admit to regretting. But I also kind of prize it because it put me in a unique place. I saw a lot. And that matters. Okay? See, Thesis is congratulating Cindy. Cindy's saying thanks. Thursday, I was the she was telling me about this. Thursday, she was the only student who showed up for Tai Chi. So instead of doing Qigong and the slow or fast forms, we worked on applications. I got to practice some joint locks. Oh, happy day. Practical applications of Tai Chi. Cindy, your school is delightful, and I am in unmitigated envy that you have a facility to do that sort of thing. I've had no luck with that style training and finding the right facility for that. So I envy you deeply. And a quick question, Cindy, did you do the Chen 24 fan form? And Goodson, let's see. No, I got stuck on throwing the fan. I can do that now. I should try to get back to it. I've been learning the Wu style slow form and fast form, same form plus or minus 5 moves, but some different focus on how it flows. Those forms are 108 moves. So yeah, it took some doing. I'm shocked. I am genuinely impressed. I can't do that. I'm an improvisational fighter. That's why, much like the way I run D&D, I prefer, a simple sword style. No. No. Stuff slide. No. This steaming pile of not kosher is brought to you by gravity. Gravity, it hates me. Okay, I think that's everything. Nicholas D. Wolfwood tried to throw himself away. Anyhow, I think we're groovy. I will double check my books in a bit. And it's starting to get dark enough and my eyes are adapted. Let's see. Well, I can't do that. I need a moment. Oh, there we are. Hi there. We're well over my hour, but I want to keep going because the conversation is really good. All right, I wondered, because Foxy wants to learn that one. I do want to get back to Chen 24 fan form when I can. That's wonderful. Be a shame if you wrote a book on the arts you've learned. Or something about adaptation. Be a shame to see more nonfiction books come out. I know I'm not as fast or as agile as I was back then, but I still hope. Oh, absolutely. You certainly can be a decent fighter. In fact, the wisdom should if the wisdom and experience is levied right, it should cover all. Now, I do tell people when they fight me, you're a foot taller than me and 20 years my junior, you should be able to beat me. That should be the assumed outcome. Anything I pull is old man trickery and nothing short of it. I won one tourney bout. Oh, congratulations. Oh, bout. And Sierra arranged the list by ranking everyone from highest to lowest and folded the paper in half to get the pairings. I invariably paired with white scarves. Oh, Lord, I hate when that happens. Push hands is awesome for learning body mechanics. I teach push hands to my students before we start anything else. Yes, absolutely. Gravity always drags me down. Gravity is mean. The one bout I won was sword versus cape with the Dawn. He swung a cape in a figure 8. I'm familiar, blinded himself with the 2x rotation. I ghost stepped into range and waited for the man, waiting for the next part, which I'm hoping is the word opening. Next time he blinded himself with a cape, went to lunch. He had overextended because I wasn't as close as he thought. Got him, but that was not a fluke. Oh, that cheeses me. That was not a fluke. Read it again. That was not a fluke, Cindy. That was you successfully tactically assessed how they were fighting, saw a weakness, made a tactic, you formed a strategy, you implemented it, and successfully won. I had a similar thing happen to me against a gentleman by the name of Moonwolf. I actually got a kill on Moonwolf. Duke Sir Master Moonwolf Starkonson, the one of the greatest fencers ever to grace the Middle Kingdom. Truly amazing swordsman of light and heavy field, and a bard of no small water. But I didn't manage to get a kill on him. I wish I could have got that second. Oh, I wish I could have got that second. And what happened was I was just impressed. I let the intimidation get me. I might have had a shot, but in my mind, I'd already lost. But it was a good bout. It was a good bout. I have to do something about these guys. I'm poofing out the sides again. But no, that was not a fluke. Now, so as a reminder, keep your eye open in case Joe can make this stream happen. But don't be surprised, if we have to wait. If it's recorded, and I'm hoping to have a backup recording system going, I will put it up basically as soon as I can get it edited and pieced together and checked for sound. The biggest problem is if somebody's cell phone goes off, it might get copyright struck. So there's not much I can do about that. But we're going to try. So with that, guys, I'm well past my hour, and I can smell the pizza. And frankly, I'm hungry. So thank you for. Oh, but yeah, no, that's still the same comment. It just my system fumbled. Thank you for coming out. We should have a great program. If I get an opportunity, I will shoot a video midweek and talk more about what we're going to do, what we're bringing. And I certainly, the week after, will do a postmortem about how it went. But I love you guys. So let's go through it. Do your drills. Because you can't do what you need to do if you're not in good form. Keep your eyes open because you can't recognize the threat if you're not looking for it. Be kind to yourself and each other because sometimes the world won't. And thank you for supporting your local swordmaster. A huge, huge shout out to Frog G, Ronald Rain, Kai G Lee, Brian K. Morris, Cindy Koepp, and Steve Augusto. These wonderful folks are the ones currently paying the bills to make sure that I can afford things like gas to go to that event, buy trainers, glasses so I can see. You guys don't know how much good you do in my life with what you give, and your generosity is incredible. The people I've spoken to constantly message me and say they want everything out for the public. They're not giving this because they could. I'll tell you, they pay the bills. They could say, "Hey, Nick, do a bunch of Patreon only specials," and I do it in a heartbeat because they pay the bills. But no, they're like, we want it out for them. So get out there and do stuff. So more stuff is coming. Okay? I haven't called you guys out nearly enough, and I'm going to. That's on my projects. And Cindy says, get a snack, which I need to. Thanks for hosting the adventure. I will bug you next time. Get my books on Amazon. Yes, I'm not going to hold them up because they're all scattered right now. Tune into the Historical Fencing Guild. Join the patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild to help Nick teach people to be dangerous in a safe way. You got this comic jump. Hysterical. We are that too. Check out my art on deviantart.com. Cindy's making all these wonderful plugs. Bless you. And go to CKOEPP.com for all the goodness that is Cindy Koepp. With that, guys, toodles. I love you. Stay safe out there.